So this is my 2020 Indian Scout Bobber. I did a few modifications to that I'd like to show you and go over with you, see what you think. Leave a comment on it. I did find a few, what was easy, what was hard. It's all kind of easy, but how I approached it sometimes just made it more difficult. And if you can watch this video and if you're going to do something like that and makes it easier on yourself, that'd be great. Make me happy anyway. So anyway, the very first thing I did is I changed the headlight out. The headlight had a big cowling around it here. It was a 5.5-inch headlight, I believe. This is a 7.5-inch headlight. Don't quote me on those numbers, sorry about that. But anyway, when I pulled the cowling off and the original headlight off, all the wires were stuffed into that cowling and they were wrapped on a pretty nice Velcro little wrap that came around it. And so this one had kind of a hole back here. So you have this entire space here, but you have to try to shove the wires through the hole. Or so I thought you had to shove the wires through the hole. And you do, but to make it easier, which I didn't realize at the time, because I like to do things the hard way sometimes, is if I would have just taken this screw out over here and the one on the other side over here, this whole lens pops off of here, and then you can see in the entire thing, this is literally one plug holding it on in the back, so you unplug that, and you can set this aside, and then you can thread the wires through. It's just, I felt like, okay, that would have made it a lot easier if I would have just did that to begin with. But instead I tried to do it the hard way, and then I learned it. And anyway, so take that out. Like I say, I think I got this out of Max Inc. Originally I ordered another grill for it, which had some of the chrome look in it too, but I really like this. I don't know why again. Sometimes I just don't read enough or whatever, that I didn't realize that this was going to come with this X on there, which I ended up really liking better anyway. So I left it as is. As a matter of fact, here's the grill, the other grill that I had bought for it. I think I'll actually, I don't know, let me know what you think. That way, or just that, I don't know. For me, I like it like this. So anyway, let me know what you think. Turn signals, the original turn signals they're pretty big and bulky. I think I have one. So this is a rear one, but that's the size difference right there. And so these are Astro turn signals. I have them both on the front and the rear. I just think they give it a lot cleaner look. I don't know, just minimizes it, and that's kind of what I was going for, was minimizing the bike look. And these work really nice. The Joker machine makes the brackets that fit to it and the headlights, and you do have to wire those in, and I'll show you what I used to really help. It really helps. Took me a while, but I did finally figure out something that worked very well to solder those into place. And we'll turn it all on and go through it as we look at it here. So that's what those look like. Like I say, I think they look pretty sharp. Just to minimize the look. The boots, I put the boots on there. Once again, I think it just makes it look old school. I like the boots on it. And that's just preference. Well, it's all preference, right? So it just depends on what you're looking for. I did put a set of drag bars on there. Indian Aftermarket, that guy is amazing. No, I don't get anything for saying that. That guy literally answers this. I called him at 8 o'clock at night one time because I had a question. So I bought some other stuff from him too, which I'll mention as we go. He answers his phone. I mean, literally, he picks up his phone and says hello. It's not a voicemail, it's not a whatever. Every time I called him, he answered his phone. He knew exactly what I was talking about and what to do. Just a really great guy, great customer service out of that guy. So anyway, I got these drag bars from him. Does put you in a little bit of a different riding position. Not a bunch. I've heard a bunch of different things about that. And this was my first forward control bike that I've ridden, and I like it. I'm 5'9" ish with my boots on. Anyway, and, I like it. I'm not sure. I have not had this thing on a long ride or a big ride anywhere. So how far can I go? I don't know. I figure anyway, I'm gonna go for an hour and get off and do some stuff anyway. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a dirt biker by most of the time, and so this is my first kind of cruiser. So at any rate, that's it. To me, it's fairly comfortable. The seat's comfortable. The suspension is okay. I did not do anything with the suspension on this. Like I said, I think it's a comfortable, great bike to ride. It's got a ton of power, works well. So anyway, moving forward, your cold air intake is underneath the tank here. That's a little bit of a challenge to thread everything else was easy, but to thread the fuel line out of that's the most difficult part I had in any of this, was threading that fuel line out and then putting it back. But other than that, there's 4 bolts back here right underneath the seat that holds the tank on. You pull those, you pull the fuel line and the fuel pump power, and the tank comes right off. Not a hard deal there. So anyway, I did put a new cold air intake on it. I also chipped it with a Tier 1 tuner chip. Honestly, I didn't ride the bike before I did all this stuff to it. So I did all the stuff to it first, and then I took the bike out. This thing will move. I mean, it scoots right down the road for you and it just, I love the power. I love where the power is at in it. Seems to sit a little higher in the RPM range, but when it decides to go, with a little twist of that throttle there, it goes. And so it's a very fun bike to ride. I'll let you know later about the comfort, how long I can actually do it for. I live in Montana, and it did happen to snow here. I bought the bike in October, and so I was working on it, and we've had a couple nice days to where I was able to work on it and get this stuff done. And then was able to take it out the other day and put about 20 miles on it. And so that's my total experience with actually riding the bike. I do have a Corbin seat coming for it. It's not that I think this seat's uncomfortable or whatever. It's just stuff I read. So I don't know. I might have been perfectly happy with this seat. Like I say, I bought a Corbin just because that's what everybody said to do. So I'm not so sure that was a good buy or not. I don't know yet. I'll find out. I'll ride this one a little bit. My Corbin's not going to be here for another couple weeks, so we'll go from there. As I mentioned, cold air intake, chipset in it, exhaust, Rogue exhaust, all that stuff, and the drag bars came from the Indian aftermarket, which I said that guy was amazing, and that he answered his phone. And in this day and age, for me, that is amazing. What else? Oh, rear tail lights. There's the rears. I showed you the size of the tail light. We'll start it up and get it going here in just a second. But as you can see, that those tail lights are quite a bit smaller. I just think it gives it a more minimal look. The exhausts are fully wide open. The old exhaust actually came to right about here, almost all the way to the end of the back tire. So these are quite a bit shorter. They are loud. Too loud? I don't think so, but I live in Montana, and I'm not in a lot of city type of areas to where somebody can complain about that for the most part. So I did put a 180 on the rear of the bike. I got rid of the 150, and I put a 180 there, which I think looks better aesthetically. How does it make the bike handle? I wish I could tell you. I don't know yet. I'll tell you, like I say, I didn't really ride it beforehand, so we'll see. Like I say, it seemed pretty flickable to me. It seemed like it moved left to right pretty simple. when I did ride it, but I'll know more when I can get it into some tighter stuff up in Glacier National Park. So at any rate, I did like it. I like the looks of it. I like the stuff I've done. Comes with a battery tender outlet on it. I just bought that little battery tender at Napa for like 50 bucks. I don't even think it's 50. I think it was like $35. Seems to work well. Does everything I need it to do. So we'll start it up here and let you hear it. So anyway, that's my 2020 Indian Scout bobber and the things I did to it. I think I pretty much touched on everything. Oh, wiring. I was going to tell you about the wiring of this bike. The wiring that comes with these Astros is super thin. I mean, thin. Like, I couldn't even use strippers on them because they were so thin. I actually used my fingernails, and there are my fingernails. I don't have much for fingernails. But I could just pull it off, and so therefore they were very hard to solder, and I did solder everything. I found these things online, this is the actual one I used right here. So it has a solder piece in the middle, and then the two white things on each end, they actually heat up and grip the wire, and then the solder piece melts and takes those two wires together. You stick the wire in each end, and they worked really well. Before I do that, I slid the shrink wrap stuff over it, you know, and then put the pieces on, and then slid this back over and shrunk wrap it, just using a heat gun. Just used a simple heat gun, and I'll tell you what, that works so slick. It looked factory when I got it done, because your wiring on the back comes from underneath your seat and comes right around this thing to the piece itself. Worked super slick. And when I screwed up the wiring to begin with, because I got the wires wrong, and I'll tell you about that here in a second too. All I did was heat those back up, and they pulled right back apart, and I could just use the exact same wire. I had to throw the little connector away because it had melted down, but I just heated them right back up and pulled it right back out, and just worked slicker than heck. These little pieces on the back, they were only good through a 2018, so they say. I bought them anyway because I wanted this piece. They say they don't make them for a 20. I had to drill it out. I just used a drill press and a little bit of a bit. You'll see where you have to drill it out. It's not hard, super simple to do, and it takes you 2 minutes, and those pieces work to where it covers up where the old taillight fit in that piece, and it's this piece right here, this oblong looking piece there. So worked really well. And so, like I say, that it really cleaned it up and really cleaned the look of it up for if you were to take that off there, it would look like it came from the factory that way. I had to cut everything back a little bit. So if you get those Astros, they're called, they come with a LED intensifier inline converter. And I'm just going to show you right here. It's white to black, blue to red, brown to purple. If you do it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but that is the correct way. White to black, blue to red, brown to purple. That will make your taillights work. It'll make your running lights work, your brake lights work, and the turn signals in the right direction. So I had it wrong to begin with. I looked online, and the site I originally looked at didn't have it right. Took me a little bit of finding to do, but anyway, I found it. So that's it. Sorry, I've taken a lot of your time today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like my bike. I like my bike. And I hope everybody just rides safe out there, and leave your comments below. Thank you.